Okay, Mark, come on on. Good evening, everyone. It's a little bit after 7:30 on this Wednesday evening, the 18th of March, 2026. I have read the 24th chapter of Matthew very many times, and I'm going to do that, have Mark read it again tonight. Matthew 24:4 says, Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no man deceive you." Now, the disciples had come to him and asked him a question, they said, "Tell us, first of all, when shall these things be? What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So they wanted three different descriptions. Okay, sign of his coming, when these things shall be, and the end of the world. And he answered all three questions. I'm going to have Mark read through this, and then I'm going to make a few comments about it. I believe that, obviously, all of you know, I don't believe that this is only, Christ is only referring to 70 AD. I think it's an impossibility, because he covers too much ground to be all covered in 70 AD, like I've often said, 70 AD was a localized event in Jerusalem. It was not a worldwide event. And he says that he says all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And then he talks about nations shall rise against nation. And then he says these are the beginning of sorrows, not the end of sorrows. And he also says that the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. The gospel of the kingdom wasn't preached in all the world in 70 AD. And the abomination of desolation didn't happen in 70 AD. And, there's so many things in this passage that didn't happen in 70 AD. The preterists say that there was a sign of the Son of Man appearing in heaven. It says, but then it says that when the sign of the Son of Man appearing in heaven, all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming. All the tribes of the earth did not mourn in 70 AD. Okay? He didn't gather his elect from the four winds, from the end of heaven to other in 70 AD. And they try to use this thing about this generation shall not pass to all these things will be fulfilled, and they turn it on its face and say, see, that proves that generation didn't pass 70 AD. He's not talking about the generation in 70 AD. He's talking about the generation shall not pass when all these things he just described won't pass away until these things be fulfilled. Right? Well, I do not believe that the 24th chapter of Matthew and the corresponding other gospel passages to this 24th chapter of Matthew is only talking about 70 AD. I'm going to turn this over to Mark and have him read it.
Matthew chapter 24. Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? She answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and shall hate of all nations for my name's sake. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and deceive many. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. He that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness in all nations. Then shall the end come, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand, and let him which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down and take anything out of his house, and let him which is in the field return back, take his clothes. Woe unto them that are with child, to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved with elect's sake. Those days should be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, you shall see the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. For the lightning cometh out of the east, shineth even to the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be dark, and the moon shall not give her light. Stars shall fall from heaven, the power of the heavens shall be shaken. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. They shall see the Son of Man come in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He shall send his angel with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender, putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. For of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angel of heaven, but my Father only. So the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come. Know this, that if the goodman of the house had known and what watched the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made rule over his household, to give them meat in the due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, then he shall make a ruler over all his goods. If that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, shall again and smite his fellow servants to eat and drink with the drunken. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, in an hour that he is not aware of. Shall come asunder and appoint him his portion. With the hypocrites shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
Well, it's just hard for me to understand how the preterists can think that everything, this passage of scripture is stating that everything happened in 70 AD. that all these prophecies were fulfilled in 70 AD. And the way they try to lump it all together is the scripture that says this generation shall not pass away till all these things be fulfilled. Well, the proof that it's not the generation of 70 AD is the fact that that generation has passed away and all these things are yet not fulfilled. So that proves it's not all 70 AD prophecy. Yes, he talks about the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem in 70 AD. That is part of this answer to their questions. You know? And that's in verse 2. There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. We know that happened. But it wasn't just the 70 AD prophecy that he was referring to. You know, he says that even after wars and rumors of wars, nation shall rise against nation, kingdoms against kingdom, there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. Did all that happen in 70 AD? He says all these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay? These are the beginning of sorrows. And then he says many false prophets shall rise. Many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. Did that happen in 70 AD? Was the gospel of the kingdom preached in all the world in 70 AD? No, it was not. If it had been, the end would have already come, because he says after the gospel is preached in all the world, then shall the end come. The end didn't come in 70 AD. What is the abomination of desolation spoken of Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place? Well, there's a lot of people say that it was the doing away of the old covenant. I don't believe that that was the abomination of desolation. I believe the abomination of desolation is trying to reinstitute animal sacrifice. You know? He also says here that there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever should be. Is he referring to 70 AD there? He's referring here to a great tribulation, worldwide great tribulation, such as not was since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And he says, except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Well, if that was the great tribulation, wouldn't the days have been shortened? He also says that if it would be possible, they can't be deceived. That's why the elect, the false antichrist system, the state of Israel, they can see right through it. He says, after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. And I've had people say, well, Josephus said the sun was darkened in 70 AD. And the stars fell from heaven in 70 AD. And that's just a metaphorical language, and the powers of heaven were shaken in 70 AD. They said, and Christ did appear, Son of Man in heaven, in 70 AD. Well, let me ask you a question. Why did all the tribes of the earth mourn in 70 AD? No, they did not. Did Christ send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet in 70 AD? Did he gather together his elect from the four winds of the earth in 70 AD? From one end of heaven to the other? We don't have any record of that. Notice he says in verse 33, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, not some of these things. And then he says, this generation shall not pass away. He's talking about after all these things take place, this generation, not the just the destruction of the temple, not that generation not passing away. All these things, that's the generation he's referring to, all these things. And, he says here that no man knoweth the day nor the hour, but yet the preterists say the day of the hour was 70 A.D. That's kind of a contradiction, isn't it? He says that no man will know the day nor the hour, and the preterists said it had 70 A.D. Well, he says, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. Did you hear that, preterist? Therefore be ye also ready for such an hour as ye think not. They think they've got the hour. They think they already have the hour that Christ came back. Well, the fact is, the 24th chapter of Matthew is chronological. It starts with 70 AD and goes forward more. We're in 2026. And if you do the math, that's quite a while. It's quite a while. And we're still seeing false prophets arise. We're still seeing wars and rumors of wars. We're still seeing many people are being deceived. We're still seeing false Christ and false prophets. And I don't believe we've seen the Great Tribulation yet, even though the 70 AD preterists believe that that's already passed. Well, that's what's on my mind this morning, and I would highly encourage the preterists to reread 24th chapter of Matthew and look at it as a chronological, sequential, prophetic utterings of Christ that's going to happen down through the ages, and those things that have happened from 70 AD forward. All these were the beginning of sorrows, he says in verse 8. So may the good Lord be with you tonight is my prayer, and I'm looking for the return of Jesus Christ, and I don't believe he's going to show up until after the Great Tribulation, based on my understanding of Revelation. He's going to make war with the saints and overcome them. That's what he says, and I believe it. God bless.